Welcome everybody to the Unreasonable Bias podcast. I'm your humble servant W.E. Jones.
And it's your boy Doug.
All right, here we go. Somebody sent me a text earlier that said, shout out to the end of Bay season.
Yes, over with.
I'm going to have this gentleman across from me let us know what that means, because I have no idea.
Yeah, because Bay season is over with. And for you men who don't understand, your relationship is over. You had a good run. You made it from Thanksgiving all the way until February. You bought the gift. You've had a good run, fella, but it's over with. Because if she's not talking about what y'all doing in spring, or she's not making any vacation plans, then it's over. And that's fine. But you got to let it go. Tina Pendergrass said it's a TKO. But that's it. You know, you met the family. Yeah. You went through Christmas. You got her a gift. She got you a gift. You know, you had the New Year's Eve. Yeah, y'all kissed at midnight. But you had a good run. But it's over. Valentine's Day colors right now like mostly red, but it needs to be pink for pink slips, because some of y'all are going to be out of here. Now, I feel like it's my duty to give the game to the men, not the women. I can't get it sauce away, but I can give the game to the men to help them understand, to know when it's over. And if you're trying to keep her around a little bit longer, you need to, make some plans. Because,
okay,
the first indicator that it's over with is you getting the secondhand lingerie. Yeah, like when it's Valentine's Day today, but Valentine's night finna be wild for a couple people. Couple people finna see some stuff that they ain't never seen. Couple people finna be out here, seeing little price tags in the trash can. Hey, fam, don't check that trash can. Just don't check it, because you getting the same lingerie that Larry got. Larry got that lingerie last year. That was Larry's lingerie. Oh yeah,
and he got it new.
Oh yeah, Larry got that new. Larry, and she bought it for Larry. That ain't for you, fam. That's for Larry. The lingerie got like little unnecessary stains on it. A little wear and tear on it. Some of the
mileage.
Yeah, little some of the buckles aren't as crisp as they used to be. Little button strings. If a lingerie got loose strings on it, that's secondhand. That ain't for you. That's for Larry. And Larry enjoyed that.
If the lace is crinkled up at the end like it's been washed 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah, that's Larry.
That ain't for you.
That's Larry's.
Larry's lingerie now serving you disappointment and heartbreak.
That ain't from Frederica's, fam. That's from Frederick. Frederick bought that lingerie, and it's over with.
Oh.
Second is that thing of if she's not making vacation plans, if she's not having conversations about Turk and Caicos or down there in Dominican, she ain't talking about going to the DR. If all of her conversations with you end at February 28th, she having a whole bunch of conversations about Black history, and she ain't talking about nothing about no, she ain't talking about no Southwest getaways. Fam, it's coming to a close. And you have to let it go. You have to love, live, and buy something, but you got to love. And then that third indicator is when she start posting them Throwback Thursday, but it's just bikini pictures of her in random locations. Fam, it's not for you. That's to put all the other dudes on notice that this is what she's gonna look like on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
If you would enjoy flying her out somewhere, then she's gonna look like this, and this is the selling point
upon arrival.
That's all. You on the clock, fam, and don't get that shot clock violation of trying to hang on. Just understand, when the call frequency starts dropping on February 28th, on that March 1st, when them replies get left on red, just know it's over. Base season, cuffing season is out of here.
Okay, but so okay, because I know nothing about this. So this starts at the beginning of the previous year's holiday season. So we're talking about Thanksgiving to the end of February.
Right.
Okay, so why does it end in February though?
Because she's done.
She's done?
Think about this. She's done. She gets you in Thanksgiving because she don't want to be alone during Thanksgiving. A little family coming on, little family events. So she got to have Bay there, right?
Okay.
So now Bay is solidified for Thanksgiving. Who wants to be without a gift on Christmas? Nobody. Everybody wants a gift during Christmas. They want to get that Christmas.
It's un-American.
It's un-American to not get a gift during Christmas and take your little Christmas photos and your little matching pajamas, and your little matching sweaters.
Oh, ugly sweaters.
Your little ugly sweaters, and you want to go to your little family events and parties, and you want to go out to the jingle and mingle, and you want to have bae with you. Understandable. Then New Year's Eve is coming in. You want your pictures. You want to go out. You want to put a nice little dress on. Have your little kitten heels. You want the little bedazzled dresses. You want to be shimmery. You want to shine. You want to be a disco ball. That's what you want to do. And then you want to be the lover's holiday.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you're lonely now, just wait until tonight. Well, actually, if you think you're lonely now, wait until February 28th.
Talk to him, Doc.
But so once they get through that holiday, once they get that lover's holiday, when they get the gifts and they get the chocolate and they get the candy,
there it is.
And then it's a downward spiral, buddy. Because if she a hot girl activities start around March.
Okay.
You serve no more purpose. She's not getting another gift from you if it's not, until her birthday or Christmas.
You know the saddest thing I heard around that subject matter recently? A young lady told me she had to give her ex some. What'd she say? She gave him some in December, ignored him all of January.
Gotta get him out of there.
And then said, because she set up December for Valentine's Day.
Gotta set it up.
So she set him as her number 2 on her waiting list.
Gotta get it.
In case something transpired between, say, Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day. She got another dude around.
Right.
She ignored him for the proper length of time to let him know that she's not interested in him.
Right.
But also left a 2-week opening for her to get back with him in time for Valentine's Day. I said that is the most diabolical thing.
You gotta set it up properly because you want to win out here in these mean city streets.
Shout out to you ladies for planning that much.
They listen, and it might be that inbreed, maybe that game that's just built in. You know, those the real ones out there. Now it's now, you know, I say this cynically, but there are some couples out here who want to make it. Some of y'all are going to see March 1st. Some of y'all are going to see April. Some of y'all may make it the whole calendar. Some of y'all might not make it out of quarantine because I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Some of y'all is on a timer. Some of y'all on the clock.
Y'all are on a quarantine short leash.
You on that quarantine clock, and as soon as she can get some new action in that house, fam, it's over.
Without wearing a mask,
it's over.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, fam. You've been kind in quarantine.
For you, kind sir.
You've accepted the little weight loss, weight gain. You have watched all the movies, but little long meat Larry, he's hanging out there. He's looking. He's waiting on his shot, and I'm telling you, little Larry is watching Instagram.
And Larry, you ain't crap. I just want you to know, personally, out of my own mouth, you ain't
Larry's
nothing.
Watching Instagram. Larry's watching Instagram.
Thirstily.
I'm talking about. He got the little eyes. He got the money bags. He got the heart emojis. As soon as your old lady start posting them throwback, oh, this is back before I met June. This is back before I met little Earl. This is back, you know. Look how happy I was. Wink, wink. Shoot, open season. It might as well be a little. You might as well need a hunting license.
Yeah, wink. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when it start getting ugly out there.
Swipe right.
But like I say, you know, Valentine's is a wonderful occasion, but it's especially good, you know, if you hoeing. That's how I look at Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a phenomenal holiday for hoeing.
That's fair. Phenomenal holiday for hoeing. Well, Douglas, does that go both ways? Because I feel like we actually, if we got our game together, we can enjoy the season as well.
Okay.
Is it not for? Because I feel like if you got you a real one out here in these streets, Douglas,
right, you
can have a dollar menu Valentine's Day.
The real ones,
you know,
those are the ones you're looking for. Yeah,
the real ones. You know, so I'm looking for ones that kind of appreciate that. What's your take on it? What makes a good Valentine's Day gift for a real player in these streets?
Listen, first of all, you need to take 2 steps back and don't worry about the gift. You gotta make sure you get the right Valentine, right? If you hit it on the head as far as value, right? You want a woman who's getting value meals without hesitation. First of all, she needs to be getting value meals without hesitation, and that is, you know, when you pull up to Arby's, when you pull up to McDonald's, She's not looking at you like what we doing here. She is looking over your shoulder to get that #1 roast beef. That's what you want. You want a woman who is prepared in fast food menus. She got her. I want #3. Add cheese minus the mustard plus ketchup, 2 shakes and a small fry. First of all,
And if Quantrell is back there, he knows how I get it regularly. So just tell him, and
tell my boy in the back I'm here. So you're looking for some real core qualities, right? If she's a dollar store down, if she gets all of her cleaning supplies from Walmart or Target, then that ain't the one you want. You can go ahead and put that back. You want you a woman that's getting them dollar store cleaning supplies, because these are all of the minutia that make a good Valentine's Day. Because no matter where you take her, she's gonna be super surprised. She's gonna be overjoyed that you brought her out to pure daylight. She is gonna be like, wow, this dude likes me. And that's what you want. You want one of those who, and this goes back to a story of yours.
Oh God, why?
I remember you telling me about
Why?
the time you took the young lady out to the movies, and you were taking her to dinner next, and she was surprised.
Yeah. So that same story just popped up in my head. Oh God! So chilling with a young man who will remain nameless at this time, at a spot that will also remain nameless, and there was things getting a little hot and heavy between myself and the resident there. I was another resident that a friend of mine was coming to visit, and so we down on the couch enjoying each other's company, getting to know each other quite well. And at that time in my life, I didn't know how to close that one night stand. I've never known how to close that. So best I could do was set up for a date, shot my date shot. Okay. It hit his target true. We set up something for the couple evenings later. Went out, said, hey, I'm going to take you to this nice little spot at this time. It was a nice little Creole and jazz restaurant.
Yeah.
Pulled up, enjoying everything. I said, hey, what movie you want to see? Movie 2? We're going to a movie? Yeah, it's dinner and a movie. Oh, guys, that's always took me to movies. No dinner. They never fed you. Just took you to dark places.
Yeah.
With cheap snacks, the smell of popcorn butter in the air.
Sticky floors. Yeah.
That's how you got down?
Yeah.
It's sticky floors. So this young lady pulled the move of all moves and let me know very kindly and swiftly that she was no longer interested in my services or my presence.
Yeah.
She said, oh, my tooth hurts. Ow. No wincing.
No wincing.
No nothing. Look me straight in the face. Ow. That was the actual sound she made.
Gotcha.
Ow. My tooth hurts. Can you pull over at the gas station? I sure can. Can you get me a black and mild? No problem. Black and mild.
Yeah.
Sure.
See? Another sign of greatness.
Another sign. Absolute. So she smokes a black and mild. I say, well, okay. Well, she begins smoking. I say, okay, well, still down for that movie or what's up? Oh, no, my tooth hurt. I got to go home.
Already ate.
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already ate. But yeah, I know because I was there when you were eating. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why my tooth hurt right now. Ow.
Ow. Ow. Just start pointing at different
what I said, ow.
Front, back, left, right. I got my front, back, and side to side teeth.
At some point, I think she pointed to her elbow and was, ow, ouchie. Oh, okay, fair enough. So as legend would have it, she leaves out of my presence. I take her back to her domain and drop her off and bid adieu, never to darken that doorstep again.
So the funny part about this story is that this story then is like any terrible movie. It's like then this is where the second vantage point picks up, because I was at the residence, and this was a long time ago. I was at the residence.
A long time ago.
Me and her roommate were in commune.
Entangled. Situationship.
As she comes in the door, because I had known that she was going on a date with Willie. I knew. But as she comes in the door, she's on the phone with Long Meat Larry. Telling Long Meat Larry
that she's full.
Now, mind you, this young lady knew that me and Willie were friends. we knew each other.
Yeah.
She sees me on the couch and continues the conversation, telling long meet Larry she just got dropped off, and she don't need no food.
And she's pacing. She's now placing an order, and she just came off her vegan diet. She looking for the long meat this evening.
Listen, I've already ate. Don't worry about that. You can leave that McDonald's where it was. I ate good. Just bring that meat to she like Arby's right now. She wants the meats.
Jesus, happy Lord.
Terrible.
Because the sad part is that I at this point in my life, I realized Long Meat Larry is stalking me, evidently. Because Long Meat Larry pulls up on me regularly. He pulled up on me regularly. I was just telling somebody. Victim. I was literally just telling somebody, perpetual victim of Long Meat Larry. Me and him got beef like Peter Griffin and the chicken.
Right.
Every time we see each other, it's on site. But he pulled up on me several times in my 20s, man. And that's why, when I think about Valentine's Day stuff now, I just did a whole bunch of stuff for my wife and kids, But I think about it now, I go, am I thirsty for Valentine's Day now because I was abused for so many years before I got married and somebody couldn't leave me without legally giving me half of their income? Because I was abused. Long Meat Larry came and saw about me. And the story goes that Long Meat Larry not only came to the house, right, but he came while you were there.
In front of me. Gave me dap.
Yeah. Paul picked her up. I thought it was a duet.
No, she walked in and she's on the phone. She sees me. She tells Long Meat Larry she already ate. Swing through. Long Meat Larry came by, picked up. I was still on the couch when Long Meat Larry came through, picked up. I'm like, dang. Like, that's my man, right? I know him. We're gonna have okay, cool.
But you know what? Now finish. Tell the people how you had to tell me.
What you mean?
Because that to me is one of the funnier parts of that story. Like, so a couple of days later, the funniest part for me, from my vantage point again, because now this is where in the movie we pick up again. We lived together at the time, so he comes home one day. We work different shifts. I work night, he works days.
Yeah.
So I'm coming home, he's leaving, and he was like, hey man, how'd the date go with old girl?
Yeah.
And I told him my side, and immediately, much like he's doing right now, I started laughing, and I'm like, what's up? He said, man, you didn't like her, did you? I'm like, she was cool. What's up? Yeah, Long Meat Larry came, picked her up.
Yeah.
Doughboy Central here.
Yeah.
Just came and picked her up, and he told me to tell you thank you for feeding her.
Yeah.
That was essentially what the conversation was.
He didn't have Ambisol. He didn't have Tylenol. He didn't have aspirin, ibuprofen. He had nothing. He probably numbed out, but it wasn't but it wasn't a tooth.
Yeah.
But I can go back to I think my worst Valentine's date. So my worst Valentine's date was we went out to eat. I ain't gonna drop information, but we were going to sushi bar.
Okay.
So I had plans on all this stuff I was gonna do, right? Because I'm a graphic designer, especially then I was much younger, and I was like, you know what's be best is if I make a craft. So I made this card that had all these emotions in it. It was like like emotions in paragraph, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then inside the emotions, I put love in the shape of this heart in the middle, right? So I spent all day. I'm leaving work late because I'm trying to get this card done, and I'm trying to get all these things done, and boom. So I pull up to the house. She's doing laundry. Now, mind you, she knew that we were going out that night. I didn't know I was on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize I was on the clock. She played a very different game, and we'll get into it. So she takes her time to get ready. Now, mind you, I'm like, we got our reservations. It's time to go. She's taking her time because none of this means anything to her because old Doug is on the clock. He's up out of here. So she takes her sweet time. She gets dressed, but not really. We get to the restaurant. I'm having a conversation with her. And in the middle of a conversation, she just says, shut up. Just stop talking to me. I had to lean back on that because never in my life until that point had a woman ever told me to shut up and stop talking to her, especially not one whose meal I'm paying for in this situation, because this sushi ain't cheap. This particular restaurant wasn't cheap. So I had these thoughts going through my head. And I was thinking, all right, she rode here with me. I think I'm on the clock already. I wonder if I just pretend to go to the bathroom and then just go home. Would that work? How would that turn out? Then I thought, if I told the waiter half, how would that turn out? So I decided to do none of those things and to be a sucker. And I just sat in the suckerdom and ate my sushi quietly. And then politely, when we went home, I was informed that my services were no longer needed, and that I could carry on my wayward son. Yeah, the Valentine's Day is a cruel mistress. It's good for some of y'all, and some of y'all is over with.
I think it's a good mistress to everybody, regardless of what side of the clock you're on.
Right.
Because you learn something, man. You learn something. If nothing else, man, you learn. I was considering going a certain way in life with this young lady, and you know what? It doesn't sound like that's going to be a thing. So let's just keep it moving.
True.
Which is cool. You might learn a little something about yourself. You might go, you know what? I didn't even know I was on the clock. So obviously my antennas aren't right. I need to figure this out.
To your point, it is you learn from all these bad, good Valentines, bad Valentines, but you just kind of learn from all these life experiences to understand that, to your point, like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Oh, I didn't know I was on the clock. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that the lingerie was secondhand. I didn't know to look for the strings. I didn't know that Long Meat Larry's car was parked outside. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I kept seeing the same car. When I left, I kept seeing the same car. I didn't know Long Meat Larry. It's just those things that you start, throughout all this stuff, all this life experiences. You just pick up and be like, yeah, cool.
Man, I didn't even know that Long Meat Larry was our waiter at the restaurant. Didn't figure that out. And then for some reason, same dude showed up at the gas station. I did not know.
And we're saying Long Meat Larry, but Long Meat Larry kind of encompasses every other dude who has access, because no matter how player you may be, no matter how much game you got, especially when we're talking about pre-marriage, we're talking about, but we're talking about like these loose relationships that you have between 18 and, 20s, 21, 22, 23, 24. Some of us going deeper, some of y'all going way deep, some of y'all still getting Long Meat Larry at 50. But those interactions are where it's that dude who got access. You know what I mean? It's always a guy who she was waiting on that phone call. And as soon as that phone call came, he was out of there like the little umpire. You didn't get 3 strikes. You got ejected.
I mean, that's very true. It's a harsh reality, but I think any man who's been around past his 25th birthday has been on both sides of that situation. I think we've all been a Long Meat Larry at some point in time, and had Long Meat Larry come visit us as well. It's just a part of relationships. Something you said right there triggered me, though. That access thing.
Right.
That is something that I don't really think women give enough credit to. And every time I speak to a young lady who's talking about a relationship or whatever, I say, listen, you got to make sure his accesses are well sealed, or at least you understand them and know how to combat them. They don't get how much just having access to a person will give you the opportunity to do some things that you may regret.
And I don't know if it's not a one-way street, because it's a duality, right? It's a duality of she has access as well as he has access.
Right.
And sometimes it's, sometimes that access, that connection leads to a larger connection, and sometimes it's just a toxic situation that just perpetuates itself over time. We all have those situations where it's just toxic. Even with toxic friendships and toxic people in your life, sometimes you just don't know how to cut that relationship off or cut that friendship off, because there's so much good in your mind that comes out of it. I have friends, collegiate acquaintances and friends who I cannot put them in certain friend groups because of either maturity or toxicity or conversation wise. Sometimes those people just don't fit together in groups.
Right.
People having access to you, maybe not in a relationship wise, but it's people having access to you. That drunk friend who went away to college and comes back, and now every time y'all get together, it's a bar fight. You know what I mean? And and you know, and you love the dude, but it's going to be a bar fight whenever he's around, or that young lady who, you know, for whatever reason you've been attracted to, but every time you see her, she got a new baby daddy or a new kid, and you still keep putting up with it, and you still, and every time she come back, you open arms because that's what you feel is right. That's the thing about you know, relationships, and I speak of relationships because we're around Valentine's Day, is that you have to learn when it's time to let it go, when it's time to put yourself on the clock, to be honest, because I think sometimes Valentine's Day is when you might not know you're on the clock, or you need to put yourself on the clock, because you know that two-way street of Valentine's Day isn't just about what a man can give a woman, but it should be about what a woman can also give a man. And if you are in a situation where you've spent, you know, Christmas gifts, you spent big money on New Year's Eve, you spent all this time, you spent money, you come up on this big Valentine's Day, and then she gets you a little card that says, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" And it's a Charlie Brown Valentine. Then, fam, you might want to you might want to be looking. You might want to be putting yourself on the clock.
I mean, I just think it's so different for us as we try to please one another in relationships, and the norms, be set aside, but just
Right.
a person to another person trying to please them in relationships. For us as men in general, I believe, we're taught to put points on the board.
Right.
We're taught to score points off, and young ladies are taught to be bait. So if all year long you've been putting up points, and it's been working, then why would all of a sudden this one particular day, when I've been sitting back being bait this whole time, why would I change and grab the pole? I'm not gonna. You're gonna continue to buy me stuff, and I'm gonna continue to give you the same thing I gave you when we met, and it's been the same thing you've been chasing the whole time, and I'm still gonna give it to you, and that's all you're getting, sir.
I think about, you know, this Valentine's Day, and then next it's going to be President's Day. So I think about, you know, presidents, and I'm always thinking about dead presidents. And it kind of, you know, it's a kind of weird transition, but I'm thinking like presidents, dead presidents, money, right? So you have this holiday about
Hmm.
love, and then the next holiday coming right behind it is about money. So it's that crossover in my mind, my crazy thought process of there's always been that conversation of money can't buy you love. I'm kind
Mm.
of challenging that right now because I would want to put that discussion back on the table. Can money buy you love?
I mean, that's a really quick answer. No, nah. It can't even buy you trust, and that's the sad part.
I'm gonna push back as I always will.
Okay, let's hear it.
So we think about love, right? And we think about love from the perspective of the three, right? So agape, phileo, eros, right? The three branches of love. So when it comes to relationships, you're aiming for agape, but generally you got to go through the one of the other two doors. You're either going to go through
Hmm.
phileos, where you was friends with someone, and then that friendship uh, turned into a relationship or turned into love, and then you're trying to push that love into agape, or you come through eros, where you are attracted to someone and you're trying to push that love, and you're going through to agape, right? Because you
Hmm.
want a relationship in which that this person has your back, this person has your best interest in mind. This person loves you, right? Or I want to remove the word love. So this person cares about you, respects you, and is loyal to you, right?
Okay.
So these are the characteristics that we want from love. But I think you can get those same characteristics from money. I think that you can. I think that you can,
I'm listening.
if you use money, and if you have money and you have a longevity of money, you can give that to an individual who will provide you all of the artifacts of love without the title of love, because it will benefit them to make you feel the way love makes you feel.
I mean, we have something that's just prostitution,
But
sir.
it's not.
That's
I wouldn't say prostitution,
that,
because it's that thing of what I'm saying is like all of this, the new media, and this female empowerment movement, which is dope. Um, you go to your WAPs and you go to your ups and you go to your Meg Thee Stallions and Doja, and I want to say Dojas, but you go to all these women who are kind of pushing this narrative now where broke men don't deserve affection. That's not what Cardi said, but broke men don't deserve affection. And the women say, yeah, no, that's right. So it's this reality that love is becoming a second tier thing. They don't want so much compassion. It just seems they want more compensation. So they want compensation from an individual. And when we echo these sentiments of love don't pay the rent, or if he ain't giving you money, he don't love you, or you spend your money where your heart is. It's those situations that they don't want to make a direct connection between love and money, but it is a very upfront statement saying that I can do bad by myself.
And these individuals are credible according to, I mean, listen, every person's experience is their experience. So I can't invalidate a person's ideologies around a particular subject matter just because I disagree. But I will say this. When I am listening to subjects, I would hope that the person giving me the insight on that subject has some experience in it.
Right.
So if I'm listening to somebody who, by their own admission, grew up in a terrible household, did not see love modeled in front of them,
right,
had a really troubled, time as a teen, in and out of different situations for money, and now they're a 30-year-old woman, and this is their perception on life, I would be more shocked if that wasn't their perception of life.
If they have not experienced security, have not experienced
love, just love, and if they've never experienced love or seen it modeled, I have a problem listening to their ideologies on it.
Love is so relative.
To what?
To every person. That's why they have the love languages. If you haven't taken that test, then you should take that love language test, because it
Yeah. So my wife is a doer. She's and then I'm a talker. So our love languages don't match, and it often causes conflict.
Right.
But the reason why I can still discredit, or not even discredit, let me say that. The reason why I would take somebody's opinion on love who's never really been in a loving situation with a grain of salt is because even though me and my wife's love languages don't match, we know that. And we took the time to get to know that about each other because we love each other and actually want to salvage the relationship.
Well, I would say that I can't speak for your relationship because whatever. But I will say that people who do the work to understand that, yes, our love languages are different and our love languages might be conflicting. But if you can take the time to understand what a love language is, then you're 5 steps ahead of the game, because that love is it's a weird flux, right? Love is a weird flux of emotions. It's that thing of, yes, I am making a physical commitment, I'm making a spiritual commitment, and I'm making a financial commitment. Because I love you, I will do all these things that are required for your benefit. Because I love you, I will sacrifice. Because I love you, I will stand firm. But I can say that you could easily get someone to replicate those same sentiments if you paying them. There's this guy who's on YouTube who does relationship advice, and he kind of interviews women to help them adjust what they consider their personal value. So when I see this guy and I listen to the women who are having conversations on his platform, the same thing echoes over and over again. And very well maybe just because of his particular demographic, they are all searching for financial security. They are not concerning themselves with love, because they feel as though love is a luxury. They would rather have security than love.
So I would ask you, based on that conversation, because how many women you said?
It was all his clientele. He's been doing shows for a while.
So I'm saying, how many have you watched?
Probably about 10.
Because you built a baseline.
Well,
so okay,
I can do his show plus my life experiences of I've been broke for a large part of life, right? And I've understood those moments where there was a genuine connection of what I felt like was love at a broke level, dealing with a certain caliber of woman. And then once you start getting a little older and people start to get a little bit more personal value or personal or self-worth or personal growth, now it's like your broke love isn't going to do it. Your broke love doesn't help me. Long me Larry has a job. And it may not be love, it might not be what I would want or what I've seen in the storybooks or the narrative of love that my parents may or may have. And me and some friends have even had that conversation of, you see your parents' love through the eyes of a child, but you don't understand what they did or had to do to stay together, or why they fell apart, to be the honest reasons of why they fell apart. So as a child, you just see people love each other and then you mold that storybook narrative in your head. But sometimes that is just not the reality. It's not the truth.
It's never the truth. But at the same time, you're never going to understand everything your parents went through in their relationship because everything has context, and recency bias is a thing for a reason. So even after they went through hellish years early in their relationship, while they were, either both maturing together or one was waiting for the other to mature, you'll never know what the actual events felt like because they've changed how they felt in their own hearts about those events over time. The individuals who, because I've heard the narrative too, by the way, and I'm just going to use the word that I want to use and I don't care how people feel about it. We are not built to simply have a relationship built on money because we know about it. It would only work if we didn't know that we paid that person. Because at some point we want real gratification. We want real validation. And that term real that is used so much by people, it is a fallacy because these are the same people talking about all this fake stuff.
Right.
Because we have a generation of individuals now who really sit back and ponder if these thoughts have merit. No, it is dumb. Your heart, your mind, whatever the intangibles are that you believe in, spirit, whatever, you're not wired that way. You're just not. And genuineness cannot be bought. And that's not a principle that I believe. That's just a principle of humanity. Genuineness cannot be bought.
I wonder, so interesting concept of that. You can't buy authenticity,
No.
right? You can't buy when a person really likes you.
Nope.
You can't buy that. And that right now causes, well, first go back to the first point. Even though when you said when we're paying for it, we know we're paying for it. And I think sometimes that's that causes a little conflict because, like the love language situation of that, I'm paying for it with expectation of getting my investment back. However, I'm going to get it back.
Okay.
And you are selling me a dream with no intent of paying back my investment. And then that's when I think a lot of problems happened, when the demands start happening.
Well, there was something you threw in there though. You made a conclusion that I don't know if you can make it without. I don't know if somebody could make it on the onset of a relationship. You said you're selling me something without the intent of giving me in return. Now you're speaking, like legally, you're speaking towards intent. So when you start speaking towards intent, now you have to either know what that person is thinking via what they told you they were thinking. Like you had to have firsthand knowledge of that person and whatever they were thinking, or you're drawing that conclusion yourself.
I think that when you meet someone, as we've said in the past, you are building your fantasy up in your brain of how this person is and who they are and how they'll react and how this thing goes on. And, people like me, the overthinkers, we're always walking to situations trying to plan out all the strategies of, if this person is funny, then can I be funny? Or if they're mean, can I turn them from being mean or whatever? So I think we all go into these with these preconceived notions of how this person will be when we interact with them. And we come with our own personal toolkit to say, based on our previous relationships, these are the things that have worked for me in the past. I find little Tina attractive. I know that the last woman I dated liked purses. She liked vacations. She liked going to eat. So these are the things that I'm going to put in the front so that I can ensure that I can ensnare Latina, but Latina may have been dealing with long me Larry to where this isn't something that she has ever experienced, so she can't truly value it.
So I'm not claiming to be smart or intuitive. I would just say this. Again, I think that perception comes after you've been a bit scorned in life. Like you got to be a little beat up to not want to just come into a relationship and go, let me learn this person. And I think you have to be a bit narcissistic to think that you can ensnare another human being with anything. We either like each other's presence or we don't. Just because you put together a pattern of acts, it doesn't mean that it worked to the effect of actually conjuring real emotion out of a person. You may have got some reactions, but you don't really know what that person was feeling. Time is the only thing that does it for us, which is why I go back to my initial assessment that I understand people are trying to get rid of love.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. We're trying to toss everything away. God, love, family, it's all going down the tube of hell, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But there are just some tried and true methods of living as a human being that may not appeal to our minds now because we're trying to unravel them because we don't like to be emotionally vulnerable. We don't like to be committed. There's certain things that cause us discomfort that are part of some of the best things in our lives. But because of the discomfort, we're really trying to recoil from them. And that's fine.
No, I think that you're on the right road. Just off on you're on the shoulder a little bit. I think that this might very well be the repercussions of us becoming more connected digitally. It's the reality of we do want love. Everyone wants love, and they want love relative to them. And when you have life experiences and when you are hit your head against the wall and when you have these scorned relationships or these great relationships, you start to structure what your vantage point or what your idea of love is. So you take all these life experiences and you realize, some of the reasons why these old school parents stayed together. It wasn't out of like a eros love or a friendly love. It was that thing of this person gets me. I don't want to be out here by myself. I love them enough. Or I got children by them. I love them enough. So whatever loose shoestrings of love that they had, they were able to tie the situation together and pull it in because you have those real life experiences of use. If you are in love or you have been loved, truly loved, or what you consider truly loved, you know that the world is a cold place. But when you start to develop your strategies or your personal ideologies of love in a vacuum, you don't have the personal experiences. So now you can only look at these other experiences with your best assumption of context, because your point is king. Context is king. You need to understand. Well, you don't have to understand. You need to, but it makes it easier when you understand context of everything. Relationships, your parents' relationships, your relationships, love, what you consider love. It's all relative, but you need to understand context.
Well, and here's something that's even more anthropogenic is that we don't really even understand the roots from which the person we're trying to date came from.
Right.
And sadly enough, now we're at a place in time where they might not either. My dad always said, my dad is a very pragmatic and practical thinker, sometimes to a fault, but I will say this, he's never ended up in a bad place financially because of the way he thought. So there's that. But he said, always see what a mama look like. That's what she's going to look like later on in life. See what her people are about. See who's got degrees. See who's got, just figure out the mix of people and see if you can understand where there's going to be some leaning towards, who does she hang out with in her family? Who does she gravitate to? What are her friends like? What are her parents like? My dad he's a big background person. And so I think that even outside of love and not understanding, again, how to learn a person, we come into things where we don't even have backgrounds that match, which I'm not saying that is a qualification or a criteria, but when it comes to relationships, we don't even have things that match. For his examples, I'm coming with a Lego and you got a He-Man, and we're trying to make something happen.
It is the belief that we're both looking for love and we're both looking for, the hashtag relationship goals.
Mm-hmm.
That we are looking to be in the Instagram picture.
Are we?
So the commonality between a lot of these startup relationships is we are both trying to be on the Instagram page with relationship goals, right? So then it starts to become less about, like your father's example is that's old school South example, where what your mama look like. But now the mamas, as we said previously, the mamas now are edited. You know what I mean? The mamas are getting surgery. The mamas are getting the mommy makeover. The mamas are getting, the nose done, the chest done, the toes done.
You got to play throwback Tuesday.
Right.
Jigsaw just to figure out who this person what they actually look like.
First of all, to know who her mama was, and then second, to figure out what she's going to turn into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like when it comes to friends, back in the day, small town Arkansas kid I was, and small town Tennessee for a period of time, you had a friend group, small friend group, people who you lived in around. But now I think the friendships are a little bit different because everybody is a plane ticket away. And you have commonalities, and you have the commonality of is spring break, and you got a spot in Miami, and we coming to kick it.
Yep.
We're gonna kick it in this context, and then I'm gonna fly out. Man, I appreciate your hospitality. I'm gonna fly back out and get to my real life. Or and females the same way. They have these roaming social groups. You can look at the Instagram and see the roaming social groups that we have now. So a lot of that old thinking, a lot of that stuff that we grew up on, my parents grew up on, I think those days are dead now.
Really?
So I think it's that we want love, but we want our love to look good.
Okay, but who killed it then? If those days are dead, who killed it?
Because we want our love to look good. It's more important for our love to look good.
Most people are not popular. Still, most people are not online clout chasers. Still, even though it's easy and free to do, because we're just not built like that. And even the next generation, I still think is going to eventually default to human contact.
So here is the thing. I don't believe it's an intent to, well, first of all, like I said, I'm not on social media as much at all, but I don't think it's intent. I don't think there is an intent to clout chase. I think that there is a longing to be popular, because you have that even at high school. Everybody does want to be popular. They do want to be popular, and everybody wants, everybody wants what they have to be wanted, because outward approval draws value. So if you have a woman who is pretty, and I can say this for my personal, so I can say that if I have a woman that's pretty, and my friends around me say this is a good looking woman, and then I get joy out of that, then I am to an extent willing to go through whatever nightmare it's going to take to keep this person around, because it's a good look. And I think that I'm not alone in that reality of willing to do whatever it takes, because I've seen too many domestic violence. I've seen too many alcoholic partnerships. I've seen too many people go through too much turmoil in order to maintain face, just to be seen and be viewed in a respective light.
I think that's a mental disease.
Well, I don't know. I can't say disease, but it's an occurrence.
If you don't love yourself enough, now listen. Now let me caveat before I dive into the end of no return. This is where I go back to modeling. This is where I go back to my more conventional thinking about families. All that other stuff is wrapped up in it. So I'm prepared to tell you to get off my front yard, and I'm okay with that. Because if you don't love yourself, there's a reason why. Now, it could be one of many reasons. You could have a literal chemical imbalance. You could be broken emotionally, broken spiritually, broken financially and be around people who you always are looking to get ahead financially because you are destitute. But there is a reason for self-hatred. Whatever that reason is, once it activates itself in a relationship and is tied into eros, you have a bigger problem. And unfortunately, if you are not on a path to discover yourself, then you will find yourself letting other people discover you for you.
Well, they won't discover you. They will mold you. They will create you
Yeah,
in
you become
right.
pliable.
They will create you to the image that is best suitable for them. And it happens, and it doesn't just happen in relationships. It also happens at work. And a lot of these like companies will try to mold you into the perfect employee. Like bad relationships will try to mold you into the perfect employee to where you satisfy my needs and your needs are situational at best. If your need lines up with my timing or with it's like taking time off from work. Yeah, you want to go on vacation, but only if your vacation plans does not conflict with my business demands. And to your point, I don't know if it's self-hatred, but it might just be like self-value. To that point, a lot of people right now are going to be suffering through Valentine's Day. There are going to be a bunch of people who would be depressed, like every holiday, depressed, suicidal, suffering, because they don't have what they think they're supposed to have. They don't have the relationship. They don't have the love. They don't have whatever, and it puts them in a funk. It puts them in a bad way. That because of what they are seeing around, and because of what they're trying to mold, they have a relationship that they have a non-existent relationship, and it makes them feel less than. So
So who is at fault? Because what I hear is, and again, this is something I keep bumping into, but people are saying they, or what I see. And those terms, I get it. But what I'm starting to question is who's molding these thoughts and ideas, because it probably comes from some idea that you want to have in the back of your head from something. And then your perception on that has a lot to do with it, because I'm seeing the exact opposite. I'm seeing how much love the Obamas are getting post presidency. I'm seeing how much love the Harrises are getting for Kamala's victory and what's going on. Like, I see couples still being a thing. I still see the Carters. I still see that.
okay, so perfect example, right? Couples are relationship goals. People want to be in a couple.
Okay.
They want that. You know what I mean? They want their perception of love. They want that. So they want to be in a relationship with an individual, love being equal, no matter what gender they want to be in love with.
Right.
But they want that relationship, but they also want it on their personal terms. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't have a Jay-Z and a Beyonce without having the Lemonade album and a 444, right? Because
Is what it is.
those two concepts, they come with that relationship. You come with an album where a woman is screaming pain about being cheated on, and you come with an album who a man says, I cheated and she stuck with me. So it's that reality of that whatever you're molding up, you need context, and you don't have full context. You like the big ring, you like the big house, you like the photos, you like the dog, you like the car, you like the kids, you like all of these things, but it's like you don't want the work.
I think that just comes with growth, but we're talking about child's games that adults play. My daughter plays dress up. My daughter has a dollhouse. My daughter has characters that she makes, she manipulates to do things. So when you're an adult and you're trying to do that with an actual sentient being, I'm just going to go back to my initial assessment and say that you have a mental disease, and that it's okay if a lot of people have your disease. It doesn't make it right.
Facts. All right. Another lengthy discussion, another lengthy conversation, and we very well might have it all wrong. But this has been the Unreasonable Bias Podcast. I'm your boy, Doug.
And this is your humble servant, Will.
Peace.